sana Manzu. Kwa kweli umesema kweli, wengi ambao tumeongelea hapo mbeleni ni wale ambao wako na ile tunaita predictable income, wako na pay slips, lakini kuna wale ambao kama Eric hapa kwa gig economy. Gig economy, kuna Damasera hapa ambaye yuko kwenye Gikomba Traders Association pale Gikomba, wale ni wafanyabiashara. Kuna hapa hivi mwingine yako kwenye bodaboda. Hao ni wale ambao hawana ile payslip, wanangoja, ni wale wanangojea wateja waje. Ana pia tuko naye Wanja hapa ambaye anamwakilisha mwananchi wa kawaida. Wanja?
Yes.
Tueleze sasa. Most of these people actually like we said, they have predictable income.
Yeah.
But now here is Wanja.
Yes.
Here is Eric.
Yeah.
And all these people that we have here who don't have a predictable income.
Yeah.
What about such people?
Actually, when I was listening to the other panelists, for me, from the very beginning, there was a lot of disconnect. There was a lot of out of touch with the real issues. There was a lot of privilege. There was a lot of assumptions. Mm-hmm. It is not surprising, therefore, that I remember not too long time ago, one of the top government leaders saying that Kenya, there are those with pay slips and those without, as if we are benefiting a lot from dividing people between this versus this. But the question is, if we look at the majority of Kenyans, these are Kenyans that are not in the formal, predictable kind of income generating activities. So when you say that Kenyans should plan better, Kenyans should budget better, you're assuming that like today there was a media item of a lady who gave her children Piriton medicine so that they can sleep because she doesn't have food. You're assuming the reason why she doesn't have food is because she didn't plan her money better. And I think that
not really. I actually think, it's already a law now. It's an act.
Yes.
Yeah? It's a finance act.
Yes.
It's now looking for solutions. It sounds like there's nothing much that we can do about it. So how do we start now adjusting to this kind of life?
But you see, our constitution, when we start reading our constitution, it talks about we the people. Therefore, if you say that there's nothing that can be done, then who are these laws for? Because I remember once upon a time the president said that soon we'll have the laws serving us. And that's why, by the way, the constitution talks about amendment. Part of the constitution talks about how to introduce an amendment. Therefore, there's no law that is cast on stone if it's not serving the people. 90% of Kenyans were against this finance act. We saw a lot of political hooliganism. We saw a lot of the ruling party, for example, using their majority numbers in parliament, not to advance the interest of Mwananchi, but they are using it to vote to represent the interest of the executive and not for public good. So, is there nothing that can be done? Then the question is, who are these laws serving? You're talking about people in the informal settlement, hustlers. Mm-hmm. These hustlers do not depend on the banks, do not depend on the circles where you are guaranteed by your friend who also has a payslip. There has been studies that have been done, and the Kenya Kwanza government, why I struggle with them is because the organizing principle behind their election was the hustler, mtu wa chini. There has been studies that have shown that there is the microeconomy that works kwa watu wa chini. People, that's why even when you go to a supermarket, you'll find a detergent that is worth around 1,000 bob in a big mukebe, but in a local duka where I live, there is a detergent that costs 20 shillings. Kadogo economy. These people have their own local safety nets. They have merry-go-rounds ya wamama wanapeana mia. But now this finance law that you are saying it has been passed, it is in a tax our mama wenye they safety net themselves in huko chini. So when I listen to my friend Mheshimiwa Kimani Kuria from Molo, he's talking from a very ideal, from a very strong, high-level kind of perspective. But I wish to submit to him that there is nowhere in this world that any government has ever taxed itself out of poverty. Mm-hmm. You cannot tax people out of poverty because I can hear the employer saying, sooner than later we have to lay off people. Yeah. Redundancy before you know it. Mm-hmm. And as a social scientist, I also see these high-level conversations, and I sort of associate them with the social ills. Now, the other day, everybody is fighting alcoholism. Probably there is a connection between unemployment, stress, and alcoholism, teenage pregnancies and what have you. So this over-taxation, tax this, send M-Pesa now the percentage of taxing is has moved from 12 to 15%. Yeah. Basically, what are we doing? You are telling people, we are going to tax you. Too. You are going to tax you out of prosperity. It has never worked anywhere. The other day, they introduced the Hustler Fund, the narrative being that it's going to change the local economy. We've not had those effects. So you're telling young people, the reason why you're poor, you need to entrepreneur yourself out of poverty. With 500 shillings, with this rising cost of living, there's really nothing much you can be able to do. So from the very beginning, the
purchasing power is
the purchasing power is low. So from the very beginning, there was lack of political goodwill and lack of them really listening to the voices of Kenyans. And even representatives of Kenyans, including the opposition, saying we might want to withdraw this and go back to the drawing board. So in the, so that's what I wish.
Oh, thank you for your submission. We share the same sentiments. Where is the money coming from?
Becky,
if they don't tax, so how are they going to get money to run the government?
Thank you very much for that. That's a lot of enlightenment. But I want to speak the Wanjiko's language. The citizens' language. And I keep saying that the Kenya Kwanza government lied to Kenyans while they were campaigning. Because none of the promises they gave Kenyans have actually been actualized. It's the exact opposite. It's what we were talking about when we were on break. Boda, itakuwa serikali ya boda na ya mama mboga. And things are going to get worse, I can tell you. As you said earlier on, petrol ikipanda juu kila kitu. As we are speaking right now, matatus have hiked fares. It's going to get worse. And this is my personal opinion and plan. I've never given a plan. Mimi nikifanya maandamano zangu zinakuanga surprise. Personally, as Eric Omondi, I think it's going to get worse, and we have to do something about it because Kenyans are literally on their own. Even the legislature, the parliamentarians, wameotoka wa Kenya. They are serving the interest of the government. Yeah, the ones who voted yes, and the government has told us not more than once that mupende musipende. We are being arm twisted, and me, I want to plan as a person that it is possible to recall this government. We're going to make history. I'm personally giving the Kenya Kwanza government 90 days. If things don't change and they get worse, we are going to constitutionally, legally, we can recall the government using the people. You understand? It's possible. We can recall the MPs, we can recall the president, because it is the people, as you said, it is people power now. The moment you find yourself muko on your own, yeah? We thank God for the High Court, for what they did today. That is the first good news to Mepata since August last year. Yes. So actually it's not 90 days. When is August? When we hit 1 year, we are going to mobilize Kenyans. I don't know whether we'll get signatures, but we can recall this government. It may sound like a joke because I'm a comedian, but I've said it here today, and you'll remember that I said it, that once we hit 1 year and things are skyrocketing, we are going to recall the Kenya Kwanza government. It has been done before in other countries. We can do it. We are going to get people to recall the Kenya Kwanza government.
Boda sector.
Yes, thank you.
Tell me about that.